Yo, what up? It is the 2nd of August 2024. It is currently 10:47 p.m. on a Friday, and if you're astute, you'll notice that this isn't the morning. Um, and if you're more astute, you'll know that this means that my turnips are not going to sell at an optimal price, at least if the turnip tracker that I've been using is any indication, because it suggested that I was going to get a huge spike this morning. Unfortunately, I wasn't actually able to play this morning, so I guess we'll never know. I found out, I realized, for one, I didn't get up early, obviously, but I realized that, oh, $204, you know what, that's still pretty good, that's like double. I'm making back double. I realized, oh, so but basically I went to 2 classes today, and I realized that the first one, by the time it ended, it was already midday, so I didn't really have any choice. Well, let's sell now. So, yeah, we're gonna make back a nice 50,000 bells. You know, that's pretty good. Thank you, Mr. Nook. Well, there you go. I sold them. Yep. I made a profit of 47,000 bells. Grand. Would have made a lot more if I had, whatever. Live and learn. I mean, yeah, there wasn't really much I could do barring, like I said, wake up extra early, which wouldn't have been the most fun. Or time traveling, which I don't do, so I couldn't do that, actually, because it's banned. My save file has a little, like, pin. It's like a pin, and when the pin is pulled, the save file gets deleted, and the only thing that pulls the pin is me time traveling. So I can't, yeah. It also means I can't change the time, because the time is actually slightly off. I am, for me it's currently 10:48 p.m., but in the game it's 10:50 p.m., so I have to bear that in mind. Hope you pictured a bear of some kind, perhaps an Animal Crossing bear like Poncho. Yeah, no, yeah, they can't time travel. That's all my main point. But you know, that's how it be. If you can't play the game at the time, then you can't reap the rewards. You know, that's just how it is. Doesn't care about your feelings. Well, it does care about your feelings, but it doesn't I guess, work with your feelings. It's sort of just, yeah, whatever. Nice Monkey, you know Peewee, right? Well, I have an urgent delivery for Peewee, but I'm really busy. Can you deliver it for me? Can you down in what now? Yeah, sure. I severely doubt you're really busy. In fact, I don't think any of these people are ever busy at all. It seems like the only person who does anything around here is me, and the only reason why I do anything is because I'm always helping out these guys with the things that they can't do because they're apparently so busy. Cuba's a watering can, but I'm not seeing him watering any flowers. So, yeah, what's that about, huh, Cube? You got something to say? No, you wouldn't. Oh, I do have to remember that tomorrow is the fireworks show. The fireworks show starts at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Don't miss it. I'm gonna put, like, a bunch of sticky notes. I'm gonna put a sticky note on my monitor today, because I have to remember that. It would be a foolish for me to forget such a thing, and I really hope that I don't forget it. Maybe I should loop this part of the video over and over again so I can't forget it, or I don't know. I'll think of a maybe not a mnemonic, but I'll associate a song with the fireworks, and so when I listen to it, I'll think of fireworks, and then I'll just listen to that song all day, and then I can't forget about the fireworks. If I listen to the song all day, then I'll miss the fireworks. Okay, so I can't listen to it for that long. Got a good system going. The other night I had a really beautiful dream. In the dream I was living in this huge castle-looking house. Yeah, like a mansion. It was basically this gigantic peach crumble. Needless to say, I never once got hungry. That's just James and the Giant Peach. Which, I think this game came out after that book. I don't know when that book came out, actually. Well, I don't know. That was a Roald Dahl, who is a Australian author. Well, was. He's dead now. I don't know why I laughed. That's not, I mean, I was just... I think... Was he? No, wait, no, he was British, not Australian. I'm getting my wires crossed. Yeah, kind of an Australian sense. I mean, you know, British and Australian sense of humor aren't that different because it's very dry. You know, if you ever watched, Monty Python, you know, we like that kind of thing, which some people think isn't funny. That's okay. But I've only ever seen clips of I've never watched The Office in any capacity, but I've only ever seen clips of the UK Office. I've never seen clips, or rather, other way around. I've only seen clips of the American Office. I've never seen clips of the UK Office. So I don't even know who plays, like, I don't even know who the cast is in the UK Office. I don't really know anything about it, other than that it's, like, the original one, obviously. Yeah, I don't exactly have a preference in terms of, like, comedies at different places, necessarily. I think that difference has slowly, dissipated over time, because now, you know, in an age, everyone's always connected and plugged in, so it's a lot more difficult to be, completely, like, you know, separated from another, you know, culture, unless you're, you know, not, you don't have access to the internet, of course. But you know what I mean, like, you know, British person and American person can talk to each other instantaneously over the internet, can see content from each other, like, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that has kind of made comedy merge a little bit, at least for the newer generations, I guess. I don't know, I guess for older generations, there's probably still a more distinct line, still. What's the secret of my soft skin? Being an orange? Maybe it's because I've been totally into long jumping lately. Oh, long jumping, not long jumping. Sweat is kind of grody, but it's the ultimate skincare treatment. Long jumping, huh? Whenever I see long jumping, like real long jumping, I just think of how it looks like Mario long jumping, which I know that Mario long jumping is modeled after real long jumping. I just think it's funny that the funny red mustache man jump is the same jump that they do in the real world. Plus, I'm pretty sure the first time I saw a long jump like that, it would have been Mario, so it's permanent association. Plus, you know, most real, well, you know, quote-unquote real, you know, athletes, when they do the long jump, they don't go, Yahoo! So, you know, are they really doing it? Are they even doing the long jump? I don't think so. Plus, Mario can backwards long jump. He can chain long jumps together. Man, I really love Mario 64. I want to play that game again now. I got myself thinking about Mario 64. That game's awesome. That's, like, one of my favorite games ever made. And, like, I have a lot of one of my favorite games ever made, but that's, like, really one of my favorite games ever made. It's that present that Cube said I should expect. Without further delay, let's see what the Out Animal sent me, shall we? Huh? A princess shirt? I don't know if I'd call it boring or practical. Either way, it's something I'll use every day. Huh. No kidding. But yeah, oh, man, I love Mario 64 so much. I mean, I love all the Mario 3D platformers. Other than 3D Land, actually, I don't like 3D Land. But I don't know. I've seen online discussion about Mario games, and, like, I remember seeing a particular, like, forum. It was, like, a YouTube comment section, but I think forum for some reason. Where people were talking about Mario games, and, like, it felt like every single person had their own, like, distinct opinion, wherein they call one particular 3D Mario game, like, literally one of the best games ever created, and then subsequently call another 3D Mario game one of the worst games ever made. Like, basically that level of, well, I'm saying hyperbole, but I don't know, maybe those people are serious. And I was just like, I don't know, it's weird to me. Like, I feel generally, you know, if you fundamentally like Mario, you know, at its base, then I kind of find it difficult to hate an individual Mario game. The reason why I hate, well, I don't hate 3D Land, although I do have a particular amount of ire for it, because I've never seen anyone else, like, dislike it the same way I do, so I don't feel validated with my opinion, and it makes me angry. 3D Land, I find, is just really slow, and, that's kind of a problem with 3D World, which is ostensibly the, you know, direct sequel to 3D Land, but, you know, you have the different characters, so you can be Toad and be fast, and also I feel like 3D World offers a lot more, like, skips and stuff with the cat suit, whereas, yeah, I don't know, I just find 3D Land is really slow and boring. It's got a lot of auto-scrollers, which, like, are particularly slow for some reason. It's just a very aggressively boring game to me. Even and yeah, I would even say I dislike it more than like the original Super Mario Bros. Because, well, I like the original Super Mario Bros. I don't dislike it, but you know, most people would be like, "Oh, well, it's such an insubstantial game." It's like, yeah, I still like it more though. You should come talk to me if you want to know all about watering stuff. I just like watering stuff. That doesn't make me weird, does it? I've never seen you do it, so that's a little bit weird. But yeah, 3D Land, I might have actually talked about this before, but I don't know, I always lose track. But one thing I find, and that I realized I found missing from 3D Land, was that the speed of Mario is pretty important because it plays into the risk-reward a lot. Like, if you play the original Super Mario Bros., there's a lot of levels, in fact, most levels in the game, you can just run forward throughout the whole level and you don't have to ever stop. But, you know, there's a higher risk because when in doing so, you're more likely to get hit and, like, lose and stuff like that. And that kind of continues through most 2D Mario games and even gets encouraged in ones like Mario 3 with, like, you know, P speed, where you have the P meter and it makes you go even faster. And then in the 3D games, it sort of became more so that your movement was expanded. Let's just talk to Marina real quick. Hugh and Tangy certainly are good friends, aren't they? I sometimes wonder if they're not a little more than that. Well, duh. You think so? If you ask me, they're more like a big sister and her kid brother. She's definitely the older one, don't you think? Older than me, certainly. Tangy? Don't know about that. So yeah, you know, the 3D Mario games sort of introduced the idea where, you know, your speed is now through the movement opportunities where, you know, Mario can skip certain sections with higher jumps and the like. You know, it's a very open movement system, and it's just sort of fun to move around, which was, you know, a stated goal with Mario's movement in 64. And then that sort of, I'd say, continued into Sunshine. I think the movement in that game is satisfying too, but takes more to get used to and, like, acquainted with, and even has some better, like, speed options. And then Galaxy sort of scaled it back a little bit, but still, level design was made in such a way that, you know, it felt encouraging to, like, you know, move around, like, do, you know, the classic combination. You do a backflip into a spin jump, wall jump, and then spin jump again, and you get, like, a crazy amount of height in comparison to any other Mario game. So, you know, they still had strategies with the movement in that game. And then, you know, even the new Super Mario Bros. Games are, you know, boring, or at least, you know, the formula is a bit boring. The games themselves are fine. But, you know, they have that element of speed still, because, you know, you can still go fast. And then 3D Land comes out, and it's like the maximum sprinting speed is, like, really slow for some reason, and, like, they brought back the leaf from Mario 3, except you can't fly with it anymore, and everything, I don't know, and everything just is a lot more slower, and it doesn't really feel like that, you know, system of risk rewards there. And even for a 3D Mario game, there's not really much movement opportunities anymore. It's basically just, what, jumping, side flipping, and wall jumping, and long jumping. That's all you can do. So it feels very basic. And I know there's some strategies in that game, like, there's weird, like, oh, the UFO's up there, oh god. Let's see if I can get this, oh god. But yeah, you know, you can vector in 3D Land. I'm gonna run as fast as possible. I know that you guys can't see this, and Mint is also... Why am I going along the paths? I broke the pink tulip. Oh, I'm breaking all of the cosmos. Yes! Oh man, I broke I wrecked so many flowers doing that. There was a pink tulip. Oh man, I feel bad. That's worth it though. I think that that pink tulip would have gone away anyway because it would have been crushed. Anyway, yeah, 3D Land. You know, it was. I just find they made the movement really basic. It's just not very interesting to play, and there's not much you can do like play around with it in comparison to other 3D Mario games and 2D Mario games. Hey, it's boss. I think my greeting is getting a bit dull. What, you just... No. You know what? Your greeting is fine. Give it up. Hey is a bad greeting, but you already changed it, so there's no going back now. And then, yeah, so 3D World adopted that same formula as 3D Land, but because they had better power-ups and better... not two birds with one stone here. You don't work out all day. What do you spend all your time doing? Let's see, Antonio. I guess I do shopping a lot. Shopping can be a wicked workout. You just gotta get aggressive. Yo, Monkey, you're into extreme shopping, right? Extreme! Yeah, I knew you were my Monkey. I guess you're right. Shopping can get a little competitive during a sale. So this one time I saw this chick steal something out of my cart. So I followed her, and when she bent down to grab her blouse, bam, I pushed her over. A delicious revenge. Jesus, Mint. Whoa! I didn't know you had that in you. You've got to try it out for my full contact shopping team. With you on my team, we'd be unstoppable. People would stampede away from the sale rack as soon as we showed up. And if they don't, kaplow, they get tackled, pinned, and plundered. Extreme deals do call for extreme measures. Sign me up for the team. That's a great interaction. But yes. Anyway. Yeah, I think 3D Land, Mario 3D Land is personally like the worst Mario game in the main Super Mario series, which to me constitutes, I mean, you know, then I think 19 games for Mario 1 up to Mario Wonder. Not Yoshi's Island, I don't count Yoshi's Island. You don't play as Mario in that game, you play as Yoshi. And also, it isn't Super Mario World 2. It's not even like lore-wise it's Super Mario World 2, because it comes before Super Mario World, but even then, it's not Super Mario World 2. Anyway, hey Gulliver. It's been a while. I'm not reading this dialogue because, you know... spaceship, the Porpoise 5000. But yeah, in terms of that Mario discussion where people are like, you know, lambasting random ones, I was just like, I don't know. I see a lot of hate for Sunshine, which I think, you know, personally, you know, that game is very janky, and jank is a very loosely defined term that basically constitutes as anything weird. And, you know, Mario Sunshine's very weird. It's probably the least polished, you know, main Mario game to ever come out, excluding maybe stuff like, you know, some of the earlier games. Oh, there's a pot. Like, you know, Mario 1 maybe. Kind of depends on your definition. But, you know, Mario Sunshine has a lot of weird interactions, a lot of weird, like, movement stuff. But I think, personally, once you get used to that movement and get acquainted to it, it's actually, like, really solid. Like, a lot of the stuff becomes really intuitive and easy and fun, mainly. And so, yeah, that's one of my favorite Mario games ever now, and I play it once every year. And yeah, it's a really good game, in my opinion, I guess. And actually, well, in terms of Galaxy, I know most people say they like Galaxy 1 more, but I grew up with Galaxy 2, so I've always liked that one more. And I think the original Galaxy is, like, kind of rough around the edges. Like, you know, they didn't really refine the movement a lot, and it kind of feels a little bit meandering in certain places. It's kind of difficult to describe it, and I should do a full run of it again, because it has been a while since I last fully played it, but I think Galaxy 2 just refined the formula a bit better and made it a more streamlined and more, like, enjoyable experience. And I know people have their gripes with Galaxy 2, like, the green stars people don't like in that game. But actually, I thought they were fun. I've only ever done it really one time though, or maybe twice. I need to give Galaxy 2 like another full playthrough because it's been ages since I did that. I really do like coming back to games though. Recently I've been ooh, is this it? Recently I've come back to Spelunky, which is a game I've been playing I guess for like 7 years, not, you know, consistently on and off, but because if you've not heard of it, Spelunky's like a roguelike, which if you haven't heard of that, then that's a whole other thing. It basically just means it's a game with permadeath. I guess, like, I'm trying to think of most notable examples, like Hades, Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon. If you've ever played a game like that, that's what a roguelike is. It's a game where, you know, you don't exactly progress, more so you have a run, and if you die in that run, you lose, and you have to start all over again. But, you know, generally there's certain tropes like randomized levels and stuff like that keeps the game fresh, and you know, stuff like that. Spelunky is a roguelike that's like a 2D platformer. So, it's sort of like, it's a game where you're descending down into caves, hence spelunking. Oh yeah, that's like another one of my favorite games full time, but also, you know, seriously, like, it's just a hugely important game to me, and it's just, I don't know, it always, and even now, like, it's one of those games where it's just fun. Well, obviously it's just fun, but, dying is fun in it. Like, you die a lot in that game, especially if you're, like, you know, not paying much attention, or you're being a bit, you know, risky with stuff. But it's a game where dying is, like, fun, or better yet, dying is funny. There's like, tons of different ways that you can slip up and die, and I would say, like, 90% of those deaths are all, you know, self-imposed by you, the player. It doesn't feel unfair, although, well, it can feel unfair, at first if you don't really understand the mechanics, but it's very much a trial and error kind of game. But yeah, like, you know, it's a game that's, like, really fun. And so coming back to it doesn't, you know, necessarily mean you do one full playthrough. It's more so you just kind of, you know, play it. But yeah, no, I'd seriously recommend it. And it has a sequel, Spelunky 2, and I've played that game a lot as well. But I decided to come back to this one because it's, I think there is something to me it's a bit more appealing with it than the sequel, in terms of, I don't want to say simplicity, because it is a very complex game, even, you know, compared to the sequel. It's still complex. Well, it's not more complex, but, you know, what I mean is, it's a complex game, right? Compared to the sequel, it's not as complex, but it is a complex game. But, you know, it makes things less about your choices and more so about just progressing, and I think it's a bit more immediately satisfying than the sequel is. But the sequel is still also, like, a really, really fun game. But I think, for the most part, I've had my time with that one, and I kind of want to switch back to the original. Well, there's also a story with that. Yeah, it's not the original, but there's a whole thing with that as well. But, you know, yeah, I would recommend that game. Well, I mean, if you like hard games. If you don't like hard games, then don't play it. Pretty much every negative review of I feel like most hard games will be like, it's unfair, or this is stupid, or I don't like it, it's hard. And negative Steam reviews are weird because, like, this is taking ages to find the last gear. Negative Steam reviews are weird to me because, like, sometimes people will say do not recommend, and they will literally say in the review, like, yeah, I just don't like the game. So it's like, okay, so you don't like the game, but do you recommend it to people who might like it? I don't know. Like, I on one hand, I kind of like the system because I think a number grading is a little bit redundant. It's basically impossible to measure up properly. There's a lot of, like, hyperbolized scores, or better yet, a lot of scores that are just like aggressively neutral and don't really tell you anything. Like, if I tell you a game's a 7 out of 10, then you shrug your shoulders. Like, that doesn't really mean anything, right? So I prefer the do not recommend and recommend system because it encourages you to think in terms of how do you feel, like, do you think this game is good or bad, right? Like, and basically, at its core, that's what that system requires you to do. But when people don't really use that system correctly, it sort of messes with it a little bit. But yeah, I've written a couple Steam reviews, although... What did I just pick up? I picked up a pansy. Imagine if one of the things landed here. I wouldn't even be able to tell. Don't think it's behind there, though. I don't know where this last ship pod is. I've looked everywhere, like, multiple times, and it seems like it's completely gone. Maybe I didn't really check on the beach enough. I feel like it could be, like, right at the shoreline. But yeah, no, so I guess my roundabout way of saying, yeah, I really like coming back to games and, you know, playing them again. Because there's something comforting about it. It makes you, you know, it gets you to reminisce. And sometimes re-experiencing certain moments in games, like scripted moments, can feel like they're new again if you give it enough time. I think, you know, I don't know, I've never really gotten, you know, people who have like thousands of hours on particular games. Like, it's always, I don't know, for me personally, I don't know if I could ever be like that. I've definitely put a lot of time into specific games, but I just like casting a wide net, I guess. I think it's gives you a more diverse palette. It lets you be more open to new games. And it just lets you have more fun, really. If you close yourself off, then, you know, it's only going to give you less options. But, you know, I'm not saying people are being, you know, like, all cynical necessarily just because they put, like, you know, 3,000 hours into a particular game. I just assume that that's kind of, you know, what people must be like. There's kind of a little bit of that as a side effect, maybe, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, there's a hole here. It's not a fall-in hole. I don't know where this last ship pod is. Oh, gyroid. No, I missed this. A warbloid. No, I don't need a warbloid. But yeah, I guess what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, like, you know, playing a wide range of games. I mean, I say, like, oh, I've got a wide palette, but, like, most of the stuff I play is, like, platformers of some variety, still. But, you know, I guess more so what I mean is just, you know, having more interests. And I've generally talked about that, like, stuff like, getting into hype for a very specific release, I find is, like, kind of pointless. Man, where on earth? I feel so stupid. Something stupid I did this morning is go to the wrong... I was going to my class and I went to the wrong building, and the other building was, like, halfway across the campus, so it was not very nice getting to that campus from there. What did I just pick up? A Cosmo. Not what I wanted. See, that's what I'm worried about, is that the thing is going to be, like, hidden. Antonio? Yo, what up? I just got this crazy alert. Want to take a quick look at it? A person's abilities are tested best when defending rather than attacking. When you read this, your heart turns the color of black tea. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? I don't know. Why don't you think up something creative? Or smarts a lot? Oh, Dr. Smarts a lot. Maybe it's in my garden? I don't know how, like... Oh, bugger off. Oh, man. That makes me feel stupid. Whatever. But yeah, no, I felt really stupid this morning, though. Because of, yeah, going to the wrong building. Never gonna make that mistake again, though. But yeah, I've, been diligently working on all my studies. I'd say I've been putting a fair enough amount of work. Like, I'm doing all the readings that I need to do and stuff like that. Oh, Gulliver gave me a present. Mint? Tee-hee, tee-hee-hee. I gotta come up with some fresh things to say. Can you come up with something that's as sophisticated as me? Nope. That's fine then. Quit saying tee-hee. What did Gulliver give me? Metroid. Wait, I already had a Metroid. Oh, bugger. I was excited for a second, and then I realized that I already have one. Come on. You could have given me a Moai statue. You could have given me... Can you give me a box of chocolates? Yeah, chocolates, a compass. So many different things it could give me, and it gives me the same old crap. A pagoda. A plate armor. Well, god damn it, you know? All that work. Well, it enabled me to talk for longer than usual, so I guess that's that. If there's anything to take away from today, join the Mario 3 Land Hate Squad and play Spelunky. Or just play more games in general, but also replay games. I don't know. There's a very I understand there's a very conflicting things that I say. Oh yeah, I like replaying games a lot, but also I like playing a lot of different games. Yeah, I'm not hypocritical at all. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's gonna be it for today.